But that's something that I think has always pushed me to go after whatever I want, is that my mom always let me run free.
Yeah.
I used to go around my neighborhood and my hair was everywhere, not combed. At some point, I like to work or walk around my neighborhood in literally underwear.
Welcome back to Get Cozy with Josie. I'm your host, Josie Lentner, and I'm here with one of my really good friends, a boss babe, Jessica Vieux. Hi.
Hello, I'm so excited to be here.
No, I'm so happy for you to be here. You're someone who I admire so much.
I love that because it's reciprocal.
Period. I love, one thing about you that I'm absolutely in love with is just how much of a worker you are. Like, you completely built your jewelry brand from scratch, and I'm wearing all of her stuff right now.
Always.
Like, if you can see, I have the necklace, I have the ring, I have the bracelet, I have the earrings, and I always wear your stuff because I genuinely love it.
We actually met through my brand.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy for that, because right after we became really, really good friends, Josie had ordered from me, and she's super impatient and couldn't wait. Couldn't wait to get her package. And I don't normally let people do this, but she's like, hey, do you mind if I come to your house? I need it right now.
Yeah.
That's how we met. Yeah.
It worked out.
It worked out amazing.
Because now my favorite text is, Josie, come to my house.
Exactly. Come to my house. I need content for this. I need your face. And
no, but I'm always
she's just been
content.
you've been such a good help and such a good support. So I really appreciate you for that.
I feel like I'm always I unintentionally shoot in your things all the time.
All the time. I'm constantly getting content from you. And it's amazing. Your face is literally one of the faces of the brand. And we've never had a shoot together. I swear, I work here. Literally.
I work here. But I've always identified and just loved your jewelry because pearls. I'm obsessed with pearls. My mom has always worn pearls. I never wore them because I never saw a cute way to wear them. And you made them modern, you made them cute. So how'd you even do that?
Well, I've always loved pearls. Even before it was trendy, that's something that is part of my core collection, and I plan on growing with every collection to come. But the real heart of my collection is Haiti and the people of Haiti. Recently, I integrated more of the Caribbean, but it's more of taking different things that I like about fashion and creating a collection and a line that is deeper than just the jewelry, because what I really want to reflect with my collection and with identity is the culture and the people.
Well, that's something I really identified with your brand. Was I just loved how I was able to wear Haiti wherever I go, because I love Haiti so much.
Me too. Girl.
Yeah. So that's why. And when I realized that you had other countries, all my Caribbean friends, I'm like, you can get Jamaica, you can get Bahamas,
The pop-up I had a pop-up recently at Kiani, and so many of the girls from other islands that I actually invited to the pop-up, a lot of them I met through you or at similar events that you were at. So that's been really nice. I'm like, I always see Josie wearing your jewelry and I love it so much. I'm like, yep. Yeah. Everybody identifies you with the brand and the collection. So I love that.
I mean, it's easy because obviously I love your brand. I love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love you too.
Okay, that's another thing. You go so hard for your friends.
That honestly, I grew up with a really big family, and I feel like I grow hard in general for the people that I love. And especially when you're someone that's very genuine and very loving. So whenever I have somebody like that in my life, I always make sure that they feel the reciprocation from that, because I don't want that to feel one-sided. And it's very appreciated, because having a business is hard. It's extremely rewarding, especially when you see your work paying off and it literally becomes your baby, and it's so amazing, but it's a lot of hard work. So the people that root for you, you always want to make sure they feel loved and appreciated and also rooted for, of course.
No, you are definitely one to root. You're always,
always.
I absolutely love it.
Always. And I always identify the potential in people when I see that fire, and that's something that you have that drive and that fire. And I think when you have that, there's nothing that can really stand in your way but yourself. So you always want to speak power into your friends and the people that you love and the people that, even strangers sometimes, if you see a potential in them, just speaking power into them is really impactful. And you'll always see these people come back to you and tell you how you impacted them in ways that you had no idea. So,
No,
and you do that a lot too. You're a very empowering person.
I just
and I'm sure you get
someone
that.
like wasting their, not even wasting, but like I used to be very insecure, and I felt the complete difference when I came into myself. So whenever I see that in other people, or even not an insecurity, but just like a lack of wanting to empower themselves, I'm like, stop it. Like whoever made you feel like you do not deserve to be here, you deserve to be here.
It's very easy to get in your head, to be honest.
It's so simple.
And you know, I grew up in Haiti, and I love Haiti so much. It's the heart of everything I do. But in a small community like that, in a small island like that, you will realize that there's a lot of social expectations and a lot of pressure that you put on yourself to act a certain way, to dress a certain way, to be a certain way. So I think the way that I don't want to say system because it's not government, and the way that the culture is sometimes can be limiting in that aspect, the societal aspect, and always caring about what people are thinking about you, and what if you fail, and being afraid of failing in front of people. But that's something that I think has always pushed me to go after whatever I want, is that my mom always let me run free.
Yeah.
I used to go around my neighborhood and my hair was everywhere, not combed. At some point, I like to walk around my neighborhood and literally underwear. And my aunts and cousins would always be after her for that, but she really let me be free and experiment the world and not be afraid to be myself.
You know, I think that's where we relate, because my mom was very overprotective, but she also just let me do whatever I want with her support. And in the same token, like,
I think that's
I would
very
walk around
important.
free. I would do whatever, and like I got the same thing. Like my aunts and my cousins and everyone else around her would be like, "Why do you let her do X, Y, and Z?" And my mom would be like, "What's the problem?"
Exactly. She sees she's in education too, so she thinks it's important. I used to play with dirt. I have so much toys, and I love to play with dirt and make something. It was so funny. And something that I try to push for my brand too is inclusivity, and just I feel like that's something our country lacks a lot, and just being able to love one another and work with one another. And that's also something one of my closest friends when I was younger was this lady that worked at my grandma's house, her daughter. So every social class I was exposed to, and just build a relationship with the people because of who they are, and not because of, they don't speak French. You know how like there's like they don't speak French, they don't have a certain level of education, they're not from the same social class. I feel like it's very wrong to just treat people according to that. So that's something that I really try to emphasize in my brand, to have different kinds of people represented, to show that everybody matters and everybody is valuable and important for who they are and not for what they have.
That's beautiful, Jess. Like I absolutely love that about you, because you are someone who you're just like, if when you see value in someone, you want to uplift them and you bring them together regardless of like where they come from. Like all your friends are from like different islands, different countries. Like I don't even think you really have any like American. I probably one of your most American friends.
Yeah, I don't think I have many American friends.
No, but it's also interesting because obviously like the diaspora, we're a lot more free and we get a lot more leeway, but that same like control and just like, who are you with? What are you doing? That doesn't look good. I still felt a lot of that.
It's a lot of that in our culture.
Yeah, it's very deep, and I applaud you for breaking out of that mold. Yeah, because that's not simple.
No, it's really not.
Yeah.
And when you're like that too, sometimes you feel like you don't fit in anywhere. But I think it's good to not, like, you don't have to feel like you belong to one specific group. I think there's beauty in every kind of people and every culture. Like, there's so much beauty in our culture. Like, we're talking right now about, like, kind of like the judgmental part of our society, but there's so many amazing values too that I feel like Haiti has made me who I am in so many ways that you see, like we have bad and good, and it's just trying more to focus on the good.
And it's also like the bad is a result of the good that we did to get to where we are.
That's
it's
true.
Like once you're like first free Black nation, then it's like you have to hold yourself to a standard. And I can understand how that kind of lost itself in communication to get to where we are now. But I feel like we're coming back. Like I feel like I see so many Haitians that are doing things that are against the grain. So many people are just way more inclusive. Even like social classes are starting to mesh more because people are starting to understand that like for us to move forward, we have to work together.
Exactly, and we have to love one another. You can't think, I never walk into a room and think I'm better than anybody in that room. And I also never walk into a room feeling uncomfortable. I've been in so many rooms with very, very wealthy, successful people, celebrities, and I don't think these people are better than me at all. I don't think they're better than me at all. And it's the same way if I walk in somewhere and I'm at an orphanage and it's people in Haiti that don't have like a lot of support or a lot of family, you still love the people the same way. And I think people see that and they appreciate that. And I think our country needs more of that because
100%.
I don't think we would be where we are right now if people were more generous and loving to one another. So
I think we'll get there.
I know we'll get there. To me,
I know it's like hard to think that
we'll
very
get
that. Yeah, because what else can you really do? Like, you know, like
no, I think that we will get there.
I think we'll get there.
I know we'll get there, but and I think what we just went through has opened a lot of eyes because I know it's easy. It's not, well, I don't know how that's easy to be honest, but I know a lot of people live in a bubble in Haiti. So I think that what just happened, everyone was affected. So I think it's very hard to not have burst that bubble and actually realize what's going on in the whole country, not just in the places that you go. You know what's going on in the whole country. It made it impossible to not acknowledge that. So I think it's very messed up. What has been going on is very heartbreaking, but I think it was also very eye-opening for maybe some people that needed to get their eyes open. So,
I mean, their eyes cannot close now.
Yeah,
like it's not possible for their eyes to close. And I think with that, it also helps like spark important conversations, like conversations that are uncomfortable. And it's through having those, like I'm the biggest person where it's like, I do not care about an uncomfortable conversation. We're going to make it comfortable. Like, we're going to get through this. Because through having those uncomfortable conversations, it makes taboo subjects just more palatable. Like, you can talk about this easily. And then people aren't arguing as much when they talk about them.
That's true. That's true. And I think you have something to learn from everyone.
Yeah.
You might not agree with that person, and you might not agree to what their way of thinking is or their perspective, but I think you learn something from everyone that you talk to. And people need to understand that you can't be the dictator and you don't really acknowledge people's culture, beliefs, perspectives, because your background is what shapes that at the end of the day. And who are you to say that somebody's perspective is wrong when you didn't have the background that they have?
I feel like I've learned a lot from you guys. Seriously. Over the course of our friendship, I feel like I have. Like,
I'm happy to hear that. I learned a lot from you too.
See, that's
the best.
You have to be friends with people that are going to like uplift you and bring you to closer to like your highest self.
And people that are different from you too.
Yes.
You know? I think that's very important. Yeah. And people tend to want to gravitate towards people that are exactly like them. But in an environment that is exactly your comfortable environment, you're not going to really grow in that environment. You need to branch out a little bit and hear people out and hear people that didn't grow up exactly like you. Then you start to understand more things. And I think that cry for help in Haiti, or like in even basic conversations and in basic situations with people within the same country, if you didn't have the same background as them, there's no way for you to understand certain situations if you don't speak to them.
No, 100%. Yeah. Like, that's one thing I've learned a lot, even with, like, a lot of my friends from, like, other Spanish countries, is better understanding, like, what's going on in their countries, comparing it to our countries. And when I speak to them, like, they don't even realize, like, how similar the situations actually are.
Yeah.
And then it makes them more willing to want to learn and figure out how to help, because then it's kind of just like, oh, you're just like me. How can I help you get out of this situation?
Exactly. Exactly. I think we have more similarities than what we think.
Definitely.
And we focus a lot on, and that's something that I have in the About Us section of my
Yeah.
website too. And I feel like people like to focus on things that make us different. But at the end of the day, if we focus more on what made us similar and like what made us like the values and the things that we have in common, it ties us together. And in the Caribbean as a whole, I feel like we have a lot in common. And I see that in Miami at least.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of the different communities within the Caribbean mesh, and I attend a lot of those events. And I think that's really nice because in a lot of other Caribbean islands, I've traveled a little bit around the islands, and they have like most Haitians that are on these islands, a lot of them come from boats, and they come from boats and they haven't had a lucky beginning in life. And a lot of them come illegally, and we're not really respected by some of these nations because, and they see you and they see that you're Haitian, like, oh my God, like they cannot believe that you're Haitian and that
Yeah.
you have a higher education and that you're well spoken,
Oh my
and that
gosh.
you're able to do certain things. And I feel like that's a lot the stigma for a lot of Haitians in different Caribbean islands. So I think having this event too that incorporates so many different Caribbean countries is uplifting Haiti and our nation, and just learning more about each other to value more each other.
I think it also just helps bring it because it's like the Caribbean is doing this, Latin America is doing this, Europe does this. At the end of the day, we're all just one global community.
And it's
So-
like a melting pot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So by even just like us becoming closer with the rest of the Caribbean and educating each other on ourselves, it helps add to like not like world peace in the most mundane terms, but
No,
essentially that.
No, yeah, exactly. I think so. I think 100%. And I think it gives a lot of hope to Haitians that come, like, for example, like I'm always in the Bahamas. A lot of the Haitians in the Bahamas, they come on a boat. And to see that somebody that comes from the same country as them is able to excel to a certain level, it also makes them very happy because at the end of the day, it makes them feel good about themselves.
Yes.
Because that's why I picked the name Identity for my business. I feel like where you come from is the biggest thing that shapes you.
I agree
and
with
that shapes your beliefs and that shapes your perspective on a lot of things. So just seeing that people within your community and within your country are doing great things, it makes you think that me too, if I work hard, I can accomplish some of those things. So
I like that. Oh, you have such a pure heart. You have such a big, big heart.
you have a big heart too.
Yeah, but you, Jess, you've been like Josie. Your heart's too big. Your
heart is so big, girl.
That's one of my favorite things that I like. One of my favorite things about you, and what I've learned from you is to just like be so sure in like my worth, right?
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, because that's something where you're just like, I will not stand for certain things. And it can be, I feel like it can be hard because sometimes you want to bend, right? And you want to bend for different situations, whether it's work, relationships, family. And what I admire about you is that you don't bend easily.
Definitely. But
Yeah.
but I think that came over time because like I like how you incorporated that in everything, because it all comes down to boundaries at the end of the day.
Yes.
And I feel like when you have a big heart and you love people, you easily get taken advantage of, whether it's relationship, whether it's friendship, whether it's family. And having a business and working hard at your business, it taught me a lot to put boundaries.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when you have a business, it becomes your baby and you're very protective of your baby. And things that maybe you let pass, like on like, oh, like a family, for example, something that you let pass, like didn't mean it like that or whatever. Like when it comes to your business and the sweat and the effort and the energy that you put into that, and then you see people like really taking advantage of you or disrespecting you in that regard, or trying to manipulate situations for their own benefit, because you do encounter situations like that when it comes to business, and it's very, very difficult. you learn like a mother, you learn to really like put your foot down and be like, no, like you protect your cub.
Yeah.
Because it's true, that's literally how it feels. And I think my business has taught me so much because I feel like I used to let myself let people take advantage of me in the past.
Which
You didn't know me. You didn't know me at that point, but that's a reality. I feel like I used to let people take advantage to me in my past, and that goes with friendships, that goes with relationships, that goes with maybe family, and it taps into so many different things. But I'm telling you, my business is really what taught me to really put my foot down, because you see how much work you put into it and life gets real and you get older. And before, you were like the cute little girl that, you're the cute little girl that is so happy and that is so fun, and that was always me. I've always been a happy, fun person.
Yeah.
So it's easy to get. So I see how this may happen to you or somebody else that has like such a bright personality, and then people tend to take that for weakness.
They do.
So when you're like that, you really, really need to learn to put your foot down. In my business, there was no turning back with that.
No, I
So I
get
think
that.
it really helped me put my foot down in many different situations. Because when you're not happy with a friendship, like let's say your best friend, not
Yeah.
every friendship, but when you're not happy with a friendship or you're not happy with a relationship, trust me, it will destroy you in every area of your life. So when you're so serious about where you want to be in life, you are obligated to make sure you're well surrounded, because it will either make you or it's gonna break you. So I don't think we've ever had that conversation, actually.
No, well, not to
you're
that
yeah,
extent.
because you're always telling me, you're like, Jess, like, how do you put your
Yeah.
boundaries so firm?
Yeah.
And I think this is the first time that I actually gave you such a long explanation to this.
No, you have not given me a long. First of all, I can say that I can agree. I'm starting to see that.
Yeah.
Because, I launched my modeling agency back in August of last year. And then I just launched this podcast and, some other projects I'm working
amazing.
on. And I've been learning to really just just from seeing things, like you'll see people that you're like, oh my God, like I thought that this person would support, or I thought that this person would pull through, or X, Y, Z, or the
100%.
last minute cancellations. And it makes you realize, like, okay, I do have to treat this in the most business way possible. I have to put as much boundaries as possible.
1,000,000%. A million percent. That was one of the first lessons that I learned. But then also, it's such a crazy thing that happens in your mind, because you see people that you don't know at all. And these people are showing up for you and for your business in ways that you could have never imagined.
Yeah.
I think it's something that's so beautiful, because it can be very hurtful at first, because when you're not seeing people that you love and that how you would pull through for them and push for them and root for them, and then you don't see them show up for you at all. I think that's something that's, especially when you're an empath and you're sensitive, that's something that hurts. But then when you start meeting people just through doing something that you love, and these people automatically gravitate towards you because they gravitate with your mission and what you're doing, and they show up for you in ways that these people could have never even showed up for you. I've gotten so many opportunities like that. People that I don't even know, and they love what I'm doing, and they reach out to me and like, hey, I love what you're doing. I love your brand's mission, and I want to put you in contact with this person. And then I ended up being invited to a Forbes event and being one of the brands on the marketplace for that. And that's somebody that I met through my brand. Again, they came to purchase from me and asked to do a pickup. And then they just loved what I was doing, and they constantly started putting me onto opportunities. And that's one of many, many stories. So it's hard, but when you stick to it, you're going to see people that you didn't even know that you could have in your network and in your circle, and people that eventually become friends show up for you in ways that you wouldn't even dare to ask. So
Love that.
you gotta push. You just gotta push.
Just keep push. But
and then these people just come.
But because you know how I am. I'm super into manifestation and like
Yes.
alignment
Yes.
and like energy. So I feel like when you're putting that energy and you're being so like direct about what you know and believe to be true and what you deserve, it's naturally gonna attract people like that towards you.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's 100% true. It does go back to manifestation because what you're putting out there is what you're gonna get.
Exactly.
So when they see you working hard and that people can see when you're working really hard on something. And
Yeah.
before you always be like, oh, everybody keeps talking and they're saying how like you're such a hard worker. I'm like, really? Because I feel like I don't really post about my business.
Yeah.
I do. I post so much about my business.
Your
actually.
business is your baby. You don't post like personal.
That's
So you
true.
don't post on your personal page, but your business page is
I
always
post on my
active.
personal page. Actually, I feel like I do. But I feel like I work so
Yeah.
much more than what I post.
Yes, this is
Like
true.
I'm always working on it, and once in a while I'll post on my personal. So when I hear people talking like that, I'm just so shocked because I'm like, I feel like I don't show when I'm working my hardest. I'm not showing that I'm working my hardest, but
Yeah.
I guess and people that you don't know will tell you that. So I guess they can see somehow through probably like results. I don't know, but I think when you're putting out that energy, people automatically like they see the quality of your work too, and then they start getting attracted to you and to your brand. And
Yes.
because sometimes they don't even know who you are.
No, they don't.
Most
Like,
of the times they don't know who you are.
I've had a good amount of people just come up to me and they're like, "You're Josie," and I'm like, "Okay,
You
I don't
see it?
have like millions of followers. I don't have the like what like you see me or like people that I don't have close relationships with that I don't even know they're paying attention to my socials. They're like, every time I see you, you're working." And
You work very, very hard.
yeah, I'm a workhorse.
But you see what's crazy because you don't really post that you're working very, very
No.
hard. You post like you're going out, you're doing photo shoots, and you're doing this and you're doing that. But you're such an entrepreneur at heart, and you're doing so many startups and like and things that you're multi-passionate. I don't even know if that's a word.
Yes, I think it's like a
But you put
multi-hyphenate or something.
and I was telling my friend that today that you are multi-passionate, but a lot of people that are like that, they struggle a lot at leveraging each business and dividing their energy within their businesses. But I feel like you're very good at that.
You know what helps me? I started to realize that I am just like an entrepreneur. Like I love to build and I love to like work on different businesses. And I have so many different passions. But it all comes down to like I want everything to align with my personal brand. Because at the end of the day, like I'm the product, like I'm the brand. So everything around that kind of like reflects around me. So like even the different businesses I've spoken to you about that I want to start, those are very much in my essence. Like you're not necessarily going to see me randomly come out with like, I don't know, like something that doesn't align with me, like something that you wouldn't see me using, wearing, like even so much down to like this podcast. Like I always wear blue. Blue is my favorite color. All part of like my own personal branding. Like people were like, what are you going to talk about? Well, I don't have surface level conversations with my friends. So I don't know what exactly we're going to talk about, but I'm going to bring them here and we're going to talk.
I think every entrepreneur will tell you, choose a business that you just have to be yourself to promote. Because when you're passionate and when they see that like it's incorporated in every aspect of your life, I think it just hits different.
No, it definitely hits different.
It hits different, and it's gonna make you so much more successful because you're enjoying the process.
100%. Like there are moments where I sit there and like someone who doesn't know me that well, they would say like, "Oh my God, you're always out. You're always at dinner. You're always doing this. You're always doing that." Even like guys that want to date me, they're just like, "You're always at like some nice this or that," and I'm like, I'm not going like on my leisure. Like most of the time it's work events or it's collaborations. But I've been so blessed that all the things I do for work align with things that I would naturally do in my personal life. Do I get to do it with like my closest friends or my family all the time? No, but I've been able to make friends in the spaces that I go into that make it that much more enjoyable.
And that also get invited to those events and those. And I feel like you are friends with the people that you work with as well.
Yeah.
So that helps a lot.
Because I'm also like, I like to talk. I'm friendly.
Yeah,
like,
you are.
And then, like, why would I not talk to you? We have to stay here for like 8 hours together. Like, what am I like?
That's very, very true.
And I've made like the closest. That's how I became friends with my business partner. As we would just be we would be working a lot together, and then working a lot together turned into just like, oh, like, do you want to hang out? And then we don't hang out as much, but when you work and you're with your friends, you're hanging out.
Yeah. It feels good to feel like you have people around you that are on the same mindset as you. And it's encouraging too. My favorite thing to do is to go to coffee shops and work in Miami, because like today I went to one right before coming here, but everybody around you is working so hard.
And it gets you into that mindset.
And it's just like there's no other way, because if you're hanging out around 4 lazy people, you're gonna be the 5th lazy person.
100%.
And that's 100% true. So when you're in this space, it doesn't even have to be your friends. You don't even have to be talking to them, but you're just, and you can network very well in that way too, which I like. But I'm just sitting on my table with me and my computer, and there's a million people, not a million, but a lot of people around me that are also sitting, working, a lot of entrepreneurs. It's motivating.
It is. I feel like I get so much done. Like, that's my favorite thing to do, because, I mean, I work from home, but I don't always want to be home working, and sometimes I have to be in Miami for different things. So it's very on brand for me to like spend the day at the coffee shop.
It's the best.
Or like to spend the day at Soho or whatever. And sometimes I work with a friend, sometimes I don't, but I get so much done.
You get so much
done.
Because you're not going to be that one person at the coffee shop that's being lazy and everybody else is working, and
you kind of feel like you're being bullied if you just sit there and you're not working.
And you know you have things to do. People, when you're an entrepreneur, you always have something to do.
There's always something you can do.
So you know you have something to do. There's no reason for you to be the person at the coffee shop that's just chilling.
And it's also like, I'm not gonna lie, like when I see people just go to the coffee shop just to go and they're not working, I'm like, what do you do?
I think there's different kinds of coffee shops for sure. But the ones I went to are like more coffee shop co-working spaces. But,
yeah,
but a lot of people go and they grab a coffee and go. But you go on a Tuesday at 10 a.m.
I go like working hours.
You know what I mean? 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's most likely going to be entrepreneurs or work from home. People that work from home.
I know when you find like I have my like favorite spots. Like when you find a good,
oh my god,
it's just like, oh my god, it's my favorite place. And I've had like sometimes like guys will DM me and they're just like, oh, like let me come work with you, and I'm like, leave me alone.
You don't want to work no right now. Like, I am not here.
I'm here to work.
Waste my time.
But I also love doing that with friends. Like when my friends are just like, hey, like can we hang out? I'm like, I want to hang out with you, but I also have this, can we like spend a work day together?
Exactly.
Because
it's like 2 in 1. You know what I mean? You're spending time with your friend, but you're also working, which is the best.
100%. And then so I feel like when you are working on like a business, you can't sacrifice that like 4 to 5 to 6 hours in the middle of the day.
Yeah, in the middle of the day is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you.
Because it's like I have to get things done.
And I feel like when you're an entrepreneur, people, they know you're working really, really hard, but the fact that you're not working corporate 9 to 5, they think you have so much time. Yeah. Oh, but Jess, you don't work. Like, they know I work because my friends know how hard I work, but they just know that I'm in control of my schedule. So, oh, you can do this, or, oh, she's not going to be working on that. Can you come pick me up? And you know what I mean? Like, it's so I can, but also I have to rearrange my schedule to do that, even though it's not a schedule that like is mandatory, and it's a schedule I give myself, and that like I have to be working during those times. But it's not like you have a whole bunch of free time at all.
That's something I have to get stronger
with.
My boundaries with like the time that I spend working, I had to become a lot stronger with that because I work remote. They think, girl,
that you don't work. Literally. They know it's weird because they know that you work. They know that you're hardworking. Yeah. But then like because you have schedule freedom and time freedom, it's kind of, they treat it very, very differently.
I think the amount of times I've had people just like say to me, you work? Like you have a job? I'm like, yes, I have a day. Like I know you don't have a day job right now, but even when you had one, like it's like I have a day job and I also do all these other things in the same type of like I'm trying to handle this model Instagram and book girls, like handle my own like personal projects I'm working on, post episodes of the podcast or post shorts, and then like tend to meetings.
Girl, I don't know how you fit everything that you fit in one day. Because I've seen you on go mode. Yeah. And let me tell you, there's no stopping.
No.
Leaving, I have a shoot at 6 a.m. Then I have to go do this at 8. And I always wonder, how many outfits do you have in your car?
Minimum 2.
And a bathing suit.
Yeah, and a bathing suit. You always have, but that's a Miami thing. Like, and that's also an island thing. Like you have to have a bathing suit on,
so funny,
ready to go. But it's like
actually so funny.
You never like. There have been so many times where it's like oh my God, like an amazing opportunity is coming up. You don't have an outfit, might not have the budget to go shop and buy something right then and there. And that's just not sustainable.
Yeah, that's not necessary.
No, it's like,
But also you told me that sometimes when you get bookings, you get it super last minute. And like sometimes they'll ask you for the day of. So I think for that reason too, having a bathing suit or just having like other clothes options is important.
no, it's super important. And then I'm also so grateful that I have like friends that live down south.
Yeah.
I'm Broward. I have friends that live down south, and they like will harbor me for like a couple hours in between things.
Yeah.
Because that saves me.
No, that because you don't have to go all the way back up. So that makes sense.
But honestly, I think to go back to how you were saying, like, you don't know how I can do like everything in a day. I don't always do everything in one day, but I am really big, and I tell every single person this: you have to be consistent. Even if it's 2% consistency towards all your projects, like you don't have to work at 100% every single day. Just be consistent every single day, and it's gonna get you somewhere.
Yeah, you see the gradual progression.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because you could like,
That's very true.
I used to be someone where I used to feel like I need to have everything to do something, and then 6 months, a year goes by, and nothing's done.
That kills people. That kills dreams.
It does.
And everybody that I have that approaches me, I always have people approach me, oh, I'm thinking of doing this, I'm thinking of doing that. Like, how did you start? And now what should I do? What do you think I need to start? I had someone tell me they needed $200,000 to start this brand that they want. I'm like,
you don't need that.
You don't need that at all. Who has $200,000? Like just sitting, you know what I mean? What young entrepreneur has $200,000 liquid to put into a business? You really don't even need 100th of that.
No, yeah.
You need bare minimum to start.
Yeah.
And start with what you have. If you have the idea, start it now, because honestly, if you don't start it now, you're going to get more and more discouraged, and life is going to get in the way. So whenever you have an idea and you feel very strongly about it, don't go starting everything in the book, because then you're just confusing yourself. But if you have an idea that you feel very strongly about, even if you have $500 in your pocket, start it with $500.
100%.
And then add on, slowly build it to the level that you want it to be. But nobody starts off automatically at the level that they dream to be. That's not even realistic.
But I feel like some people think that that's how it is.
A lot of people think like that. And I'm like, wow, this is going to keep you from never starting anything, because you even... Okay, let's say you have the money. You get a loan, which some people do. They go get a loan and to fund their vision and their project. You learn a lot with experience. You learn so much with experience. Why would you want to go play around with $200,000 when you like don't even really know what you're doing? Or even with $50,000, you don't really know what you're doing. Start small. Start with what you have. Learn when you're not putting too much money into the company. Once you feel like you have a solid base, then you push with everything else. Then you can go out and get funding. You see that your idea is already working, then go get funding. Then go invest into more ads or invest into whatever you need to invest to get your company to the level that you want to be. But in order to even do that, let your concept prove itself. And I think a lot of people are too hard on themselves in where they want to be starting off, and that stops them from having an amazing career in something that they love to do.
That's tea.
That's tea for real.
Tea.
That's tea.
No, that's honestly like, yeah, that is the killer of dreams. I think that honestly, like if I would have sat there, like even like even when I wanted to like start as a content creator, I was like, okay, like I live in like a multi-generational Caribbean household. This is not aesthetic at all. Like, what do? I don't have a camera. I don't have this. I don't have that. It's like, you figure it out.
You make it happen.
Like,
and you're very good at making it happen.
Girl, if there's one thing I'm going to do, it's
make it happen. You're going to find a way.
Even like today, I was like, I'm going to find a way.
Literally. And you know how many people want to start podcasts? I think that's something that's very difficult to start.
No, it's very difficult to start.
A lot of people want to start podcasts right now. And I want to start a podcast. Next week, Josie found a location. Perfect film, perfect creation, everything top quality. And then now you have a podcast. That's amazing.
But I also feel like when you're doing things that are like aligned, it's going to flow. Because even like my agency, it flowed. Like even with this podcast, it just flew. Like it happened.
And it goes hand in hand.
Yeah, everything goes hand in hand. So that's why like I've had no resistance towards it. And ever since I launched it, like I've had a lot of people telling me like, "Oh my God, like you're great at this. Like you're natural at this." And it brings me back to just like little childhood dreams where it's like, yeah,
that's an amazing feeling.
Because when I sit back and I think, I'm like, okay, I wanted to be a model, a designer, and I also wanted to like have my own talk show. Like I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to be like all these things. So it's like, okay, at least like 3 out of 4, right?
That's amazing. That's very amazing. And your career is passion filled. They're like sustained. You know, you're not just doing it because you think that it's gonna make you money. You're doing it because you love it and you want to make money with it, which is the best.
But you know what I do too? Like I feel like I was doing it unintentionally, and now I've been doing it with so much intention. I try to live my life as my highest self, like my higher self. So even when I think back, it's like, okay, what friends does my higher self have? Like what life does she live? Like what are her routines? How does she take care of herself? What do her businesses look like? And when I started like aligning myself with her, I started seeing like just the alignment
change around you.
Yeah.
That's very good.
It's actually crazy.
And that goes back to your manifestation journals.
Yes.
Josie's always talking about her manifestation journals, but it's such a real thing.
And work.
It's such a real thing, yeah.
Like I've manifested so many things.
Yeah.
Just like, and
to see it unfold is so rewarding.
And it's so cool because I feel like I've studied it so much that now I'll manifest things and I'll be watching them unfold. And I'm just like,
it's even more natural.
Yes.
I love that.
No, this is amazing.
And I think then this year for you is going to be very, very, very good.
I think for both of us.
Yes, I'm very excited for this
I'm
year.
so excited. Like,
I love everything I'm working on right now.
You're working on I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot because there's a lot of things you can't share. But like, is there anything you can share about what you're working on? Even if it's not has to do with your collection or anything new you're getting into, or just like...
I just have a lot of exciting projects on the way, and I think I'm about to take the biggest step that I've ever taken for my company this year. So that's where I'm going to leave it at.
We can leave it at that.
Because I don't like to speak. That's something about me. I don't like to speak about things until it's done or until I have like the foundation in place. Because I feel like in the past, that's something else. Like outside opinions can overthrow your projects. It's so crazy.
Yes.
And I used to not believe in the evil eye, but I actually do believe in the evil eye now.
No,
because
I do too.
Sometimes like everything was going perfect for something that's about to unfold. And then I start talking about it too much because I'm so excited. I get so excited about my projects. And then the minute I start blabbing my mouth about it, everything starts going downhill. That's happened to me at least like 2-3 times.
That's happened to me too. That's why I try to like, but it's hard because you get so excited.
I get so excited.
Like, because that's how I am too. Like I want to be like this and this and this, and then I'm like, okay, wait. I've seen the evil eye hit me with like crazy things.
It is. You have to be very, very, very careful on what you share, especially on the internet or like to
just anyone like the internet.
Just not just to anyone also. But for example, like when I was doing my clutch collection, I am so obsessed. I got a big order from a big store today. And I'm so excited.
Congratulations.
This morning. So that's what I was working on. But I love this project and I was so passionate and excited about it. Because when I started the jewelry, my goal was to have it made in Haiti. But then I couldn't have the machinery that I would need to do it in Haiti. And the team that I started with in Haiti, I had to train them how to make it. And then I couldn't be there because then the country went bad. I was only there for 2 days. It's not enough. So I was not able to have my jewelry be made in Haiti. So for the clutches, I was very, 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 like, there was no debating there that they had to be made in Haiti. And I ended up finding this amazing team in Corfu that I now work with. And everything was going so amazing. And then the day before, the clutches was supposed to come to Miami for me to be able to ship. The day before is when they shot the plane. And that's something that I had been talking about to everybody. And I put the coming soon out, and I had a whole campaign that I shot in Indonesia. That was like my favorite campaign that I've ever shot. And I just feel like I pushed it out there so much before having the physical product in my hand that I jinxed it. And then it was stuck in Haiti for like 3 months after that.
Yeah, no, I remember.
It was stuck in Haiti for 3 months. I felt like I was going crazy because I already started getting some pre-orders. And yeah, after this last one, because that's like the third time, after this last one, I promised myself that I'm done talking about my projects until at least they're starting to unfold, you know? But
I'm going to take that advice.
Yeah, I think it's great
because
advice.
It's like I will live that way and I won't yap, and then I'll like stop doing that and then I'll start talking again, and then it will, because you kind of like, you're like, I'm in the clear.
You're like me in that way because I get so excited, but girl, you gotta contain that excitement, bring it down. That's what I have to do.
But also I feel like, just like how you said earlier, like outside opinion creates doubt, right? Even when you're thinking of like manifesting, and I'm thinking of like law of assumption, you have to be in that manifestation.
And you can't be talking about it to negative people. You can talk about it. But if you're talking about it to negative people, they will get in your head even if you think they're not getting in your head.
Mm-hmm. This is very true. Mm-hmm. This is very, very true. So, Jesus Christ. Oh my gosh.
World.
It is a crazy world. But how do you this is bringing me to another question. How do you take because you're like one of the only brands I know that's like your brand, right? How do you just move forward and push past negativity?
That's a very good question. I think just being sure in yourself and your vision for your company and love what you're doing. Because sometimes people are not going to see your vision, but it's 100% okay. When I was about to start my company, I had the idea. I was like, I want to work with Haitian artists. That was a big thing for me. Mm-hmm. So the coins that I have were actually drawn by Haitian artists. Mm-hmm. And I was so excited. And I went to somebody that I used to look up to that's in similar industry as me. And I was like, this is my idea. And that like I'm talking to manufacturers and that like this is what I'm going to be doing. And I'm so excited. And then it's somebody that I used to look up with and I've actually worked with in the past. And then the person looks at me because they have their business like, it's very hard to do this, right? And I'm like, yeah, it's very hard, but like, I'm gonna do the work. Like, it's very hard to make an online business and something like that work. And like, they just started talking negativity into my plans. And that's something that had affected me a lot because I was still in college when I started planning my business. So I was still in college and I was so excited and I was already like figuring out my designs and what I was gonna do. And then just talking to somebody that you look up to and them speaking negativity into your plan is, even though they've seen your work ethic, because I told you I had to work with that person before. And since I'm young, I'm a shark. I've always been very, like, since I was 6 years old, I had my first business. You know what I mean? Like, I had little businesses my whole life. So my family knows me for that. So for someone to speak negativity into my plans after they know my character and just not believing in me or in my plans or in my future company at all, it had bummed me down a lot.
Yeah.
But, I still believed in myself, always believed in myself and believed in my ideas. And I know the impact that I wanted to have and the vision that I had for my company. So it was not pleasant, but I would say it was still easy to phase out that noise and still hold on to what I know I can make happen.
I'm glad you phased that out because even like to go back to what you were saying earlier about how like people that you expect would support you wouldn't. Sometimes people are going to put negativity on towards you because it's a projection of their own insecurities. And I've had to learn to like observe and not absorb because it's just like, oh, you feel like you can't do this. And because you can't do this, there's no way that I can do this.
Exactly. And that's what my mom had told me when I spoke to her about this. She's like, sometimes people project their own insecurities and you might think that this person like is trying to be like mean with you, but it's really because they don't think they can do it themselves. So then of course they're not going to encourage you to go out and do it. So Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah, no.
That's a very great point.
Like,
but then again, like I was telling you, there's a million and one positive people that are gonna empower you so much.
exactly.
And then you have so much gratitude for those people. And they're the ones that keep you going and keep you moving forward.
There's this quote, I forgot who said it, but if someone tells you no, you're talking to the wrong person.
That's true.
So you just keep going until you get a yes. And
That's
obviously, like, eventually you did get a yes because, like, hi, like, I'm wearing, like, all the time. And, like, genuinely love it.
Yeah, thank you.
Genuinely, I get
Thank
complimented on your jewelry all the time, and I'm always just like, it's my friend's brand, even with your clutches. My mom is very hard to impress. No, my mom is very picky. She's very hard to impress. Like, she opened the clutch and she was, because I got her one of Jess's embedded clutches, the mango one. And when she opened it, she was just like, "Oh my God, this is so well made. Like, it's so intentionally designed. Like, I love the design. Like this is so nice. Like,
she's so sweet."
And I'm telling you, my mom is very hard to impress. It doesn't look like it is.
Yeah.
She is, but she's very hard to. Even I was just like, "You like it?" And she was like, "I love it."
Oh, she's so sweet.
And even when you touch them, like, the quality is there.
Thank you. That was very, very important for me.
Yeah, they're
Thank
so
you.
intentionally made. And I just want to, if I can uplift you the same way that you uplift me, I hope you continue to do every single thing that you're doing. You pour yourself into all of your businesses. Your style is, you have this eye for style that is unlike and many other people I know, like unlike anyone else's, honestly. Like, you are not only someone who has impeccable taste, but you're a curator. And that's a skill that people, like, work hard to have, and you just have it naturally.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So, like, all of whatever you create, I already know is gonna just be amazing.
Thank you so much. That's so sweet.
Yeah. Well, with that, I think it's time that I let you go.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
No.
And I literally feel like we were just talking in my living room. It's the best.
That's how I wanted to feel.
I love it.
That's how I wanted to
in
feel.
dresses. Because
No, it's like, get cozy, but whatever that means, like, to you, right?
You already know I was going to show up with a dress.
Oh.
You already know that.
Girl, that's why I brought this dress. I was just like, okay, I have to, like, really, like...
I'm always in a dress.
Yes, but I love that about you.
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you so much, Jess, for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I really value you, your business, and our friendship.
Me too. Thank you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. So I want to thank all of you guys for getting cozy with us. I'm your host, Josie Lentner. You can find us at Get Cozy with Josie's Pod on all socials, and me at Josie Lentner. And before we go, I want to make sure that Jess gets the time to plug all of her socials. So...
My name is Jessica Vieux, and you can find me at Jessica_Vieux on Instagram, and my business at Identity Boutik with a K on Instagram as well.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.